Anytime there's a situation like this, and I always like try to remind myself of this, I always just go back to the same quote, like your future is hidden in your daily routine. If you're only spending 30 minutes a day or a couple hours a week on music, then it's just never gonna happen. If this thing's taken over your life, then it will be your life for as long as you let it be. I mean, you know, just visiting places. Single one is like, this is my new favorite. But I will say that quality-wise, like talent-wise, consistency is like, so far it's been Toronto for whatever reason. Something about like what they do up there, or I think I was talking to them about it, and I think it's because, you know, Canada has like funding for like art programs. And so a lot of them, like growing up, they had like free service, like free schools to like learn certain things, like music schools and stuff. So, and they do grants up there for like artists and shit. So it's like a very well-oiled, like creative community.
I lived there in New York, and like every place I've lived is just like a different world. Like, I don't know, it feels more like community, like everybody's like helping each other.
But in New York, it's like dog eat dog, the whole, across the board. All right, guys, you can head in.
First drum kit you put out,
2011.
Yeah, I remember you were like, I didn't expect anyone to get this, and then like
I woke up the next morning, $2,500 in my PayPal in 24 hours. This was 2011.
Everything's
Say yourself, fuck, I gotta make more V-packs, or I gotta make more content.
I told myself, wow, there's a demand for this. This is super fun. Let me do it again and see what happens. And then it went from like PayPal buttons to migrating to Shopify. And then creating the whole e-commerce system on Shopify. And yeah, paying a lot of money to the IRS. I'm fucking helping build this wall right now. From drum kits. 4 to 6 kits on BLAP-KITS every year. Right, so that's one every 2 months, but then toward the end of the year it's more. Can you guys imagine if I released a sample pack every week?
Bananas.
Every week, new BLAP-KITS sample pack, boom. Every fucking week, that's 52 weeks. I'd probably generate $2 million just from sample packs. But why don't I do it? I don't do it for the money. I want you guys to love everything, you know? I probably can do it if I focused and like said, fuck it, I'm going hard, but I don't like, you know, it's good.
Are you putting trying to get paid traffic behind saying, you know, you're running a Shopify store, everybody's trying to get traffic to their e-commerce shop. So is that an organic traffic through what we're talking about, generating more content every day through Instagram?
It's a combination of both. Like I'm really big on Instagram ads.
Okay.
So like
you push a paid spend behind them.
Yes, and we've sort of found like a nice little sweet spot for our search terms. But it's crazy because I guess in my position it's a little bit more unique, and I'm really interested in it because I feel like all of us in here could sort of use the model that I'm using in their own way. For instance, like I'm a music producer first, but then I also do Pass the Aux, and I also sell kits and all that stuff. I have a podcast. So I'm creating, the whole premise behind that for me, the intention was to create as many touch points as possible. So like, how can I maximize the amount of times you guys run into me, right? Or the amount of times you guys, and I'm gonna preemptive pause this, but the amount of times that like Illmind comes up in your head, right? Like how many times a day do you think about me, right? I'm being serious. My intention behind all of this stuff that I do is I need to really love doing it and something that contributes something positive to the world. So podcast checks all those boxes. My YouTube content checks all those boxes. Pass the Aux checks all those boxes. Drum kits, sample packs, checks all those boxes. Placements, you know, putting out my own music, checks all those boxes. So everything whatever product or service I'm putting out checks all those boxes. And so that allows for me to maximize very much a combination of all touch points kind of coming into one, that's why I'm such a big fan of that for you guys, because if you do BeatStars, you do YouTube, you do the sample packs, you do all these different things, the collective sum total of that will equal growth.
You lay your head down at night.
I don't have to say it.
How does all that come together?
No, I let it happen.
Content distribution.
Yeah, it's just I do these things, and you guys are gonna find out on your own time. The kid who saw my name on J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive album may have discovered me there, and then I let them decide on if they want to investigate further or stop there and say that song was cool, I don't care about who produced it, fine. And it's better for me because I'm not here selling insurance. I'm here being my best self and my most authentic self. And if people want to join the crowd, amazing. And it's super welcome. So that kid who heard that song, they might have loved it, did more research, and saw I had a podcast. Now they're subscribed to my podcast. So my attraction is for people that choose to go down the rabbit hole. Like, we want people that are invested in us to fuck with us, not like some random like hashtag strategy and then they're like, I don't really like this person, unfollow, you know? Yeah.
When it comes to like dealing with your kids and on the business end or like getting placements, how are you kind of handling that?
Good attorney. Also too, like, I don't get placements off of Kits. I get placements just from like my own beats, or if I'm collaborating with people. And my stuff's royalty free. No, I don't believe in royalty free. I think if you create a piece of music, you deserve to get paid for all of it. You know, like royalty free is kind of like give me $100 now and then it's yours. But like, if you create the melody, everyone should benefit from it, you know? Send me some loops. I prefer royalty free ones, by the way. They broke into our van and they took my laptop, my Apollo Twin, my iPad, and luckily I had my hard drives, but I had a couple hundred beats on the laptop that I lost. So sessions, the whole shit. It's just crazy. But now what, motherfucker? How long you been making music?
Forever, bro. And that's the problem, is like, honestly, I feel like maybe I just need to line up and everybody just hits me over the back of the head. But like, I relate. What's amazing is that I feel like, and you probably feel this too, you get to see them all, but there's a little bit of every single person's story that's like, wow, okay, cool, I can get behind that. I was talking to some indie labels, and this is 10 years ago. Kind of took the driver's seat. Fuck, like, I got the production chops. I love to sing. Man, life's just kind of like laughing at me, like, yo, you don't ever have time for that.
Listen, like, first of all, like, the music's amazing, great. That's not the issue.
But I feel so lost. That's what's so
right. 10 years ago, it was impossible to get your music heard by a few hundred or a few thousand. And the only way to do it back then was, obviously, you know, like, get signed to a label or get on the blogs. Instagram. This was when the blogs were big. So you know what the new blog is?
Instagram.
I like super relate to what you're talking about. Like, I had a small taste of it when funny enough, we were just talking about the studio I opened up. Yeah. In 2015, I, found a space that was like a 30-minute walk 30-minute walk, like 5-minute drive from my house. And it was in Brooklyn, and so we had like an A room, a B room, and it was like, 1,200 square feet, which is a lot for Brooklyn. And after doing it, I realized that like I didn't realize that it was more of stress and headache than it was beneficial, having interns and upkeep for the studio and like paying rent every month. When I closed that studio and I decided to like put myself first before anyone else, then my life really changed. And it's like, obviously that's small compared to kind of your situation. You have kids, you have responsibility, obviously, but I think there's something to be said about like putting yourself first in certain situations and not being afraid for something to like not work.
Like,
get out of my own head.
Do you think that you make enough bread to like hire at least one person to like just take that shit over?
Like, we'll all get to network.
Yeah.
I don't know about full time. I've been dabbling with trying to get, like, I have an intern, I have a couple content creators part time that
you know what, man, like anytime there's a situation like this, and I always like try to remind myself of this, I always just go back to the same quote, like, your future is hidden in your daily routine.
Sure.
So it's like if you're only spending 30 minutes a day or a couple hours a week on music, then it's just never going to happen.
Right.
You know, and if this thing's taken over your life, then it will be your life for as long as you let it be.
Right.
Well, question what makes you happy? You know, like
Yeah.
if that makes you truly happy, you just
It's
figure out a
music.
way.
Everybody has the same 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like,
True.
shit, man, what are you spending it on? Because if you're not spending it on the shit you love, you're not going to become that thing, you know?